Sexism in gaming.
Sexism in gaming.
Never say die. Iron Eagle. Never look back. Never say die.
Y'all should be ashamed of y'allself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power.
Because you're black.
Well, this is Tiffany Henyard, who, like her poultry friends who get slaughtered for McDonald's chicken McNuggets every day, is a corrupt mayor of Dalton, a small town in the USA consisting of a population of 30,000 people. She's vile, she's corrupt, she's a BLM cultist, DEI, and yes, I've mentioned those three dreaded letters because that's going to be the topic of today. Why Western video games are sinking ever so slowly down a quicksand pool. In the meantime, the Southeast Asian contingent of South Korea are celebrating because, well, let's face it, they have a much more unique lifestyle than we do. And without further ado, folks,
the following program contains naughty bits, more daring than this. Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
and of course, that will be the subject of today's video, DEI, but mainly the focus will be on Stellar Blade and Shift Up, because those girls and boys over there, well, mainly the boys, are going to get some serious money coming their way this April the 26th when that game is released. Now, I'm not expecting another the day before situation when we saw that game in lockdown, the previews looked amazing. And then, of course, as the graphics started to deteriorate after each new reveal, something was definitely amiss with that game. In fact, I was even saying one of my video reactions, why are they taking brand names like Tiffany's and Cineworld and remixing them on the big screen? Surely from a legal point of view, that is still plagiarizing an image, a company, but it doesn't matter because those makers took their money and they ran with it. And of course, folks, before I get into today's video, I want to thank each and every one of you. Yes, you can stick your chests up, including you gentlemen, for swarming to my video yesterday regarding Stellar Blade and the destruction of Western video gaming. Honestly, when I put that thumbnail together, I could not stop laughing. I thought, if we get to a few hundred views, I'll be happy with that. But my God, at the time of recording this video, 12,000 views. I mean, I was like Jim Carrey in a mask when he sees Cameron Diaz on the stage. My lower lip just hit the floor. So I want to thank each and every one of you who left a comment, who liked the video. You know, unlike certain individuals who will rant and rave about Starfield, explaining why they don't like the pronouns and the forced messaging of their game. And yes, I do agree with what that person said in their video, but I can't go there and do that myself. You won't get the same kind of reaction, would it? So what did I do? Just sat in front of a camera and waxed lyrical about why I'm so excited for this game they call Stellar Blade. But without further ado, folks, this article here from Grums on Twitter X asks a very important question. What is pressuring Japanese video game companies into censoring their titles for the Western market and investors? Well, of course, it's the colonialism of ESG, and it's ruining Japanese video games. I actually thought for the longest time that Japanese video games might be untouchable, but who knows when we get Resident Evil 9 or any future remakes of that game, are Capcom going to be told, you need to censor some of the outfits that Claire Redfield or Jill Valentine wear? You can't do that. So I'd be very curious to know what happens, sorry, that was just a bit of cocaine I was wiping off my nose. I'm just kidding, by the way, YouTube. I do not endorse drugs of any kind because love is the only drug I like to think of. Thanks, Roxy Music. And yes, that is a concerning question, absolutely. Why do I mention that? Well, apart from that god-awful Tiffany Henyard clip at the beginning of this video today, The Witcher remake, because of course now, CD Projekt Red, they're being held hostage by ESG now, aren't they? Any future title they release is going to incorporate those 3 elements into their new games. In this case, The Witcher remake, it's cutting at a controversial feature that was not problematic in the first game. What is that feature? When Geralt actually sleeps with a beautiful woman, he has a love card. And on the love card is a, shall we say, partially disrobed female, or the female he slept with, had his moments of pleasure with. But of course now, you can't have that as a trophy in a video game because, oh my god, it sends out the wrong kind of message. Whereas with Dexter Morgan in Dexter, he would kill a victim, get a blood slide of their blood sample, and put it in his secret vault in his house. Spoiler alert if you've never seen that show, but back in the day, it was absolutely fantastic. Good luck to CD Projekt Red. It'll be interesting to see if people actually do flock out in the droves to buy this particular game. And of course now we do get to something that I didn't actually know. So Seth Sheasel sells seashells on the seashore. Good grief. Don't ask me to say that 5,000 times. From the New York Times, he's the culture correspondent / writer, how he talked about the fact that Korea is the leading dominating force in video games today, or actually for a long time, which is really, really good to know. Companies like Nexon and Shift Up, of course, who are the people behind Miss Stellar Blade herself. So that was good to know, but again, why bring up the DEI nonsense? Because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out soon. I think it's actually this month, right? There's a demo that's out already. There's one section of the game that you're not going to see that was prevalent in the original version. Tifa Lockhart's orthopedic underwear. That's been removed from the remake because some people at Square Enix thought, oh, we can't have that here. It's going to be problematic. So they just removed it. But on the same token, or by the same token, you can actually get an art book that accompanies the brand new remake where Tifa is in her underwear. And as some people, I've got to say, it's a lovely illustration actually. It's a sexually charged design for a woman character in the JRPG. If Yuffie doesn't refer to Tifa as boobs at some point in Rebirth, I'm going to be raging. And there are people that ironically or unironically think like this. It's human nature to get horny. Hell, you know what's messed up? Someone who has cranked it to, if you know what I mean. But you know, that's a very good point. When you got an artist who designs like Simon Bisley, when he draws incredibly insane hot women for his comic books, J. Scott Campbell, who's like, you know, probably the best female renderer out there. He draws beautiful depictions of women. Remember that whole furore a few years ago when somebody wanted to redesign his Mary Jane? And of course, people, including myself, jumped on it and went, no, leave the original Mary Jane version alone. We like her buxom. We like her sitting there with a cup of coffee, watching her husband, Spider-Man, swinging off into the New York City skyline. But oh, no, no, no. We've got to tamper with it and make it less sexy.
They're not bringing sexy back, let's put it that way.
So, of course, we've got to talk about Stellar Blade. And this is an article from Games Radar. I thought it was very funny as well because when I'm reading this, it seems like the writer himself, Mr. Austin Wood, wanted to bait this developer, like having a gotcha moment where they can run with that headline. But it's very interesting. So the director of the upcoming action RPG Stellar Blade says that one of the game's most distinctive marketing beats exists because of the special attention brought into the reverse side of the lead character's model. Speaking to Games Radar Plus, game director Hae-Young Tae Kim, via the translator, discussed the character design of protagonist Eve. That design, built around the body scan of Korean model Shin Jae-eun, and I'll get back to her later on as well, has been the focus of Stellar Blade's early trailers. Well, we know about the body scan thing, don't we? But they don't talk about that. When it comes to the design, said Mr. Kim, we put special attention on the back of the character, the derriere, because the player is always facing the back of the character, which actually makes sense. That's what they see most of. So we thought this was pretty important. Just give this man a based round of applause. Before Stellar Blade, developer Shift Up was best known for gacha game Goddess of Victory, which is well known for focusing on the backs and fronts of its anime female characters. Get out of town. Honestly, when I play a game, I would like to see someone who is better looking than myself. That's what I want. I don't want to see something normal because normal's boring, right? I want to see something more ideal. I think that's very important in a form of entertainment. This is, after all, entertainment targeted at adults. Very, very good point, because when I went to Las Vegas in 2009, you basically refer to that place as Disneyland for adults. Case in point, I hung out at the Luxor Hotel, which I didn't know had a downstairs cabaret bar with beautiful shell girls on display. One of them even walked up to me on the second night in her underwear, like it was nothing. And yes, I do have pictures to prove my point. Those ladies were absolutely fantastic, didn't feel threatened by me, knew I was out there for a good old laugh, and one of them even persuaded me not to go to the old Vegas Strip because apparently it's really seedy. As many of my new subscribers have said, just give the customers what they want. So at the end of the day, folks, sexy sex sells. It's a fact. It's always been there since the dawn of time. The article actually mentions an element in Nier Automata where you can look up 2B's naughty little skirt, and if you do it 10 times you actually get a reward. And I looked this up. I mean, actually I had to look up her skirt. I had no choice. That's what the video was showing, and it's rather amusing. And I don't remember at the time anybody was making a fuss. I mean, hell, Jack Thompson, remember when he was on the grift trying to discredit Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto, inciting that it was a violent game? What happened? Rockstar did nothing because they knew that bad publicity was going to generate lots of dollars and pounds and euros. And they played their gamble pretty well. And poor Jack Thompson, I guess, is poor. I mean, what a grift. You got to get the guy a B+ for trying at least. Now, the depiction of women in entertainment, folks, it's been a long-standing topic. It's been a hot potato. But back in the UK, especially from the 70s onwards, there was a newspaper called The Sun. Obviously, it still exists, but it's -1 feature that made it infamous. So back in the day, you had the topless pastry girl, Linda Lusardi, Jilly Johnson, Sean Eddie Jones, Corrine Russell being my absolute favorite, Ruth Gordon. I mean, I could rattle off names from here to Kingdom Come, Tracy Neve, Samantha Fox. Oh yes, the midget with the pint-sized boobies.
Touch me, I wanna feel your body.
And some of those ladies actually went on, like I just mentioned, Miss Fox, on to bigger and almost better things. So why did that all stop? Because you had an MP called Claire Short who just thought it was absolutely abhorrent to have women depicting themselves in such a way. These are free-thinking, free-willing women who wanted to disrobe, get a few dollars, and go on their merry way to their next photographic assignment, right? We're going to have this debate always. And I guarantee you when Stellar Blade is released and it does big gangbuster numbers, I mean, it's the most pre-ordered, it's number 3 at the moment with PlayStation 5's pre-order titles. Number 3, it was number 2 at one point. That's gone back to number 3. I'll be very curious by next month if it climbs up even higher. That would be awesome, so I can't wait, and the best of luck. I've actually pre-ordered a copy as well already, but the irony is I don't own a PlayStation 5. Now, I'll probably get one eventually, I should, or just wait for Stellar Blade to come out on PC, but at the moment, there's no talk of that actually happening. So I just want to play this trailer very quickly of Sudden Attack 2. You know how much I love this trailer, actually. And again, South Korean game back in the day, an amazing cinematic trailer. I mean, get a load of this. Never gets tired. Oh, God. Oh, that top view. Holy hell, man. I wish I was a bird right now. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Yep, sexy hot woman minding her own business. She knows she's being followed, and yes, in badassery fashion, she takes out the guys. That's what I want from entertainment, seeing a badass female who can look after herself. She looks hot, she looks like a beautiful woman, and she can handle herself. This is something that obviously has fascinated many cultural, pop-loving culturalists in the Southeastern Asian contingent. I mean, they're obsessed with beautiful young women. I get it. Youth, beauty, skin moisturizing. It's a thing up there. You know, why do Japanese people like anime girls in certain uniforms? Do you know what I mean? And I've got no problem with that. I actually find it quite funny in most places. All the fuss about Eve from Stellar Blade, but these guys don't have a problem with anime cartoons like Crying Freeman and Fist of North Star, where you see worse depictions in those than you do in a very, what could be an absolutely fun video game. But of course now, folks, you're talking about the depictions of women in media. I mean, a celebrated image here. As one of my new subscribers pointed out, Miss Raquel Welsh, rest in peace, my darling. Again, 1 million years BC, probably the most iconic poster back in its day. I remember being besotted with this image. I didn't know who she was, but I just loved the fur bikini. And yes, you're basing it on an era of history where man and woman probably walked around butt naked, and this is just like a sanitized, more acceptable version of that. And actually, to be honest, I'm all for this. And you know what the director of Stellar Blade has mentioned about looking at the behind of a person as the protagonist as you're playing as? To me, that's a much more better substitute than, say, Pornhub. And porn, I mean as in PAWN YouTube. Just like how Robin Williams as Adrian Cronauer in Good Morning Vietnam had that little gag about Diana Ross and the Suprons. Of course, you know, when you talk about the denigration of a beloved female iconic video game character, look no further than Miss Lara Croft herself. This is a new video game coming out, but amazingly they say it's Tomb Raider featuring Lara Croft. Huh? And she's got short stubby legs. So she's Lara Croft, the midget Tomb Raider. Dun, 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 dun. So, before I do sign off today, a quick interview with Miss Shin Jae-eun herself. Hello? Oh, stop looking at your boobies, love. Hi, Shin. Hi, can I have your autograph, please? Oh, that. Hang on. No, don't go to bed. No, please don't fall asleep. I mean, you've got a great body, but no, can you just not do that anymore? Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, but bye. She's all... What? Where did that come from? Oh my God, that's so bad. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, that was a bit awkward, wasn't it? I never saw that one. What? Insane. MILFs in underwear. Well, that's never going to happen on this channel. I'm Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. I'm just having a great time here. Again, ecstatic about the reception my video from yesterday got. I hope the same fate beholds this one. And for my new subscribers, I don't want to let you down, guys and girls. I'm going to be here every step of the way and just want to give you more laughs, shits, and giggles. And on that one, if you were me and if I were you, well, before I sign off, I mean, there's Digital Foundry boys, Ollie, John Linneman, and Richard Ledbetter. Those guys are so naughty because, you know, Alex Battaglia, who's also part of that crew, the same Alex Battaglia who likes to wear a short skirt in his spare time because, you know, he's that way inclined. He's been removed from any coverage for Stellar Blade, because these guys clearly are enamored with the game's certain assets. I kind of love it. And John Linneman actually did a mic drop thing in this video as well, where it's like, oh no, it's coming out in April. I'm in the USA in April. Am I going to review this game? And he really wanted to review the game, so I thought it was so funny that he would actually drop that. But yeah, I think, you know, Digital Foundry, you got to give those guys props, because if Alex didn't sit there and voice his feminist opinion about the look of Eve, I don't know how much of this coverage this game would have actually gotten. I think it would have anyway. So in this cultural war, why is the West especially intent on making women very unattractive in films, television, comics, video games? Well, there could be a number of reasons. First of all, there is this ideology going around from the LGBT squad that there's more than one gender. And I think Western entertainment as a whole is trying to embrace that, and it's falling flat on its face because nobody's buying that idea. Nobody's willing to subscribe that there might be more than one gender out there, and you get all these nonsensical labels like non-binary and gender fluid. Hell, even Megan Fox dresses her sons in a very dubious way. I mean, where's Brian Austin Green when you need him? Also, I think as well, when it comes to the Western approach to how women are portrayed in entertainment overall, is this thing about taking away the male gaze, but you're taking away the female gaze as well, because women like to look at other attractive women or what's deemed attractive, and you shouldn't take any of that away. It's part of human conditioning. But at the moment, what I'm seeing, it's more social engineering, which I think is absolutely dangerous. If we continue to head in that downward spiral of destruction, people are just going to be seeking other outlets of entertainment. That doesn't preach to them. That doesn't bash them on the head with a stick that says, be an SJW like me and you'll get far in life. Because I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, that is never, ever going to happen.
Perhaps I wouldn't mind if you admired my body.
Oh my.
Mainstream media hubs like the BBC, maybe ITV in their infinite wisdom, will do a cover story on the sexism of video gaming. Why is it happening? Remember, people who object to sexy depictions of women are normally cave trolls. Once they have their way, they'll never ever go and pick up a copy of that game or publication. They'll just crawl on back into their mouth-breathing nests until the next thing comes out that they're ready to destroy.
You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist.
And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you were me and if I were you, you better come back for the next video. Ooh!
You get something that's greater than the sum of its parts, I think. You know, character rendering looked great. The sheer density that we had on offer in some of those scenes just looked superb. What could I say? I was kind of blown away by it in many ways. And we saw a lot more of the game this time than we did last time around.
It's whipping and moving all individual looking strands and like sort of colliding with her body in a way that doesn't look janky. And I really appreciate that kind of stuff. And I think it looks cool in motion. Okay. And then last but not least, it has a really good logo. Just going to say it. That logo at the end, like the way it sort of, the sparkly blue powder effect. And then I think I appreciate a good logo, and that's a good logo.